Good evening and welcome to the Smoking Syndicate Roundtable number 23. I am your co-host, Barry Duplessis, alongside William Cooper, Aaron Nielsen, Trip Waldrop, Dennis Fang, and of course, the bull shark himself, Ben Lee. We're going to have a fantastic experience for you tonight. So glad that you are all here. We're going to be smoking an amazing cigar. Yes, let's talk about it right now. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get right into this because I know all of us are incredibly anxious to smoke and smoke the cigar in particular. We've got the Ceniza Fina Connecticut Toro. It's a 6x50 traditional soft pressed a little bit, manufactured in the Dominican Republic at Tabacalera La Isla. It is got an Ecuadorian Connecticut seed wrapper. The binder is Dominican Criollo 98 seed specifically, and the filler is comprised of the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua, jalapa leaves from Nicaragua, and Corojo Criollo 98 and HVA from the Dominican Republic. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Fantastic. Ready to get into this sucker.
Yeah.
This is a one that it's my fault, but we should have done this months ago. I was lax on getting this out to Coop.
And I was lax on getting it out to the team, so it's not all you.
Well, not as bad as I was. So we're here today to check this cigar out. Anyway, I went ahead and cut it. So let's go ahead and cut it up and let's give our impressions of what on the cold draw.
Let's do it. Rock and roll. God, I had too much coffee today. This is going to be fantastic.
This is, I think, the first one where I didn't actually light the cigar in advance, like I did last time. It was awful.
Yay, Dennis, you're growing up.
I'm getting there. I'm picking it up.
And then you hold it off screen, hoping nobody notices that it's
Yeah.
You just see this billowing of smoke go past Dennis's face. It's like, we haven't lit the cigar yet, so let's get our first impressions. And like Dennis is like, so the second third tastes like.
I can't help
the draw of mine is slightly loose, but not too bad.
Yeah.
I get a nice. There's a sweetness right off there,
but not like a sweet tip.
No.
Yeah.
No, just a natural tobacco sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of hay, too.
Yep.
I am getting there's some creaminess, that creamy sweetness that you guys are talking about. I'm getting sweet cream, and a beautiful aroma off that foot, man. That is fantastic.
I'm normally with a Connecticut shade wrapper. The pre-light drawer does not impress me. This is a nice pre-light drawer.
Mine's very loose. It's almost like it's into bar.
It's loose though, yes.
Loose. So I'm gonna have to be, as you guys know, I smoke pretty quickly, so this one's gonna have to be regulated because I got very little resistance on mine.
Yeah, mine's a pretty open draw. I don't think it's too open. I think it's probably a notch looser than I normally like it. I am a little worried. I am looking, speaking of Ventubar, Aaron, I am looking at the foot of my cigar. And I don't know if that little indentation in the center is waiting for a tunnel to happen or not. But
I have the same. It's the same.
I have the same.
I don't know. It can't pick it up.
I don't either.
Wait, yeah, there
I
it
don't
is.
have.
You can see it. It's like on mine too.
yeah,
I don't have that on mine.
I don't have it on mine. Yeah.
you can see it by looking at an angle. Look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned. Like mine's.
It feels
it's
like
box pressing loose.
It's box pressing loose. It's not loose. I can
Right.
Yeah.
You want more airflow on that soft press, man. You do.
Yeah,
So,
and I think from a texture standpoint, it just reminds me of like a soft paper bag.
Oh yeah.
Like a lunch bag. Exactly what it feels like a soft paper bag that you would take to lunch.
It's a good metaphor.
The one that you kept for 2 weeks. You've been taking a lunch every day. It's soft.
You keep using it. Yeah.
Cut your corners, and it's just a worn-in lunch bag from my grade school.
Yeah. So this is. I get a little bit of saltiness too. I don't know if y'all get that. It's just a hint of it, which is nice. I kind of enjoy that, to be honest. Anyway,
I'm not getting that salty.
I think we've talked about that enough. I'm gonna go ahead and let's light it up and see how we get the initial impression.
Yeah, as we're lighting this up, I just want to say that the wrapper is fucking gorgeous.
My wrapper's ugly. It's a little spotty. It's not it's got some of that like
Why'd you give me the good looking ones, Coop? That's on you. You sent it to me.
I'm just saying my but I do like the way the band contrasts on this wrapper, and I think it helps it.
I do too. I think the band is gorgeous. That cream color with the
Yeah.
kind of that teal. It looks nice on here.
Yeah. Yeah. It does look nice. So
Well, and truth be told, I got my samples from you guys in the mail, and I smoked all of them, and so I had to reorder them. So I got a
That's a shocker.
second batch of the cigars. So fortunately, they came when you guys said we're doing this on the round table. I'm like, do I have one left? Nope. So I'd order a 5-pack.
you
So
didn't order.
that cat's out of the bag. Aaron has smoked this before. So
By the way, Ceniza Fina means fine ash. And
Which is
Fine Ash is also the name of the retail store that Sam and Rosie Lopez own.
Oh,
correct.
I didn't know this was theirs. Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's not
this is-
it's not exclusive. It's not
No.
exclusive. They distribute this.
Yep.
Yeah, this is available nationwide. It is from Sam and Rosie Lopez.
Mhm.
Full disclaimer, they're good friends of mine.
I was gonna say, when were you gonna disclose that?
Yes. Now,
Good people.
but
Good people. Yeah, good people. Yeah.
it's I say what I think. So if it sucks, I'm gonna say it sucks.
But
I mean,
dude, let's be honest. I mean, who are you not good friends with? You know?
Right. I mean, it's Ben, right? I mean, come on.
yeah, I'm still truthful to the core. I mean, to me, even if I'm not saying this does, but if it constructive criticism is helpful too. So I'm not. So anyway, I've kept these in my stand up humidor locker for at 68.5% humidity, and they've been in there for a few months now. So it's perfectly humidified. So if there's anything, it's not because of that. So anyway, what do y'all? Let's say, Coop, what are you getting off the initial draw here?
I got some saltiness.
There you go. Yeah.
I got some saltiness, like not what I expect from a Connecticut either. A little bit maybe of a wooden cedar note in there. Some
Yep.
the sweetness isn't quite there, but there's a saltiness coming right out of this thing right now.
I agree. Trip.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I am filming live from the cigar shop, B&B Tobacconist in Nashville, North Carolina. Anyway, and I apparently have an audience over here watching the Sabres game that just ended.
Well, they should be
Trip, what are
watching
you
us.
getting? Do what?
They should be watching us.
The-
Game's
well,
over.
not
Time
as
to
They
watch
are
us.
now. It just ended. So,
Oh, good.
Trip,
right,
what are you
so-
getting off the beginning of this?
It starts off for me, like Coop said, like that little hint of like saltiness. In a I don't know, like a minerally way, like Himalayan salt or
Yes.
something, like salt that
Yes.
has more
Yeah.
going on to it.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bit of like a creamy sweetness that I can't quite put my finger on. I know what Dennis would call it, which is marzipan.
Well, so okay, there's a bit of that, but
Marzipan's almond cream.
Yeah.
So
this is on the drier side. This is almost like a it's got a biscuit quality to it, like a dry biscuit.
mhm.
Good. Yeah.
But I'm also getting like a little bit of that like newspaper bitterness,
What?
Yeah.
like the bitter paper kind
Yeah.
of.
There's some papal aspect to it. Luckily, it's like overshadowed by some other stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of overshadowed by the other flavors. This isn't one of those cigars that just tastes like burning newspaper.
Or
which
is
is-
what is the developing palates guys say rotting papers, rotting paper or something they said?
I thought they say burnt
I don't
paper.
know.
Burnt paper, rotten. Yeah. Maybe it's burnt paper.
That's unique. Aaron, what about you? Getting anything different from what we've said already?
Yeah, I got some of the saltiness. I'll tell you what it reminds me of, guys. Is kettle cooked potato chips.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more in the Himalayan salt area.
Yeah, I think that's that Himalayan salt kind of goes into that little bit of the mineral, and I can see where it's got the like Dennis was talking about. It's got a kind of a dry quality to it. It's It's it definitely, something I'll be drinking something with because it's kind of drying out my palate a little bit as I'm tasting it. And it's not a floral note. I can't put my
Jasmine? Are
finger
you
on
getting jasmine at all?
it.
Like a jasmine green tea?
Jasmine.
No, I'm not getting it's
There's a
that's
dryness to it. That's what I get.
there.
out of
Yeah,
it.
there's a dryness to it. I'm getting that a little bit of that newspaper that Trip is talking about. I've got the potato chips, kettle cooked, because it's a little bit more sweet. Sourdough bread is what I'm getting as well. I'll tell you what, man. First hits the retro primo, like beautiful white pepper that just like stings the
Yes.
nostrils and
Yeah.
stings the nostrils in the
Absolutely.
best fucking way.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know what I got? I got like a rose petal. That's what it fucking tastes like to me. Like a dried rose petal.
I'm getting that biscuit note that someone mentioned earlier.
Dennis.
Yep.
Yeah, the biscuit note, like one of those biscuits you get on the American Airlines flight.
Yeah, that really
The
dry,
Scotties.
stale
A
cracker.
well,
Yeah.
it's I don't want to say stale, it's drier, yeah.
Well, okay, yeah. To be
Those
fair,
are usually
Yeah.
stale, yeah.
on the
You're
dry
talking about
side.
Because
the Scotty cookies that you get on
Yeah.
airline.
But
Yeah,
Scott.
yeah.
but honestly, what I like about this is it's not a very cookie cutter Connecticut. It's starting out very different than a lot of Connecticut's I've had.
Yes. There's not really much I can add to what y'all have all said. I get the I was gonna say bready, but the biscuity kind of quality, definitely. When Aaron said the rose petals, I was gonna say something floral. I didn't really attach it to rose petals yet. I could see it coming probably, but I do get it, and it's just a hint of floral note almost.
Yep.
Like it's not overpowering because when I started to get that little bit of Coop, I thought you might have a take issue with that, but it's so light. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not over. Yeah, it's not that floral powering note, which that's usually when I say I don't like floral, it's when that floral note's so dominant.
Right.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It's not that. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine for me.
It's like,
Yeah, the retro hill is exquisite on this.
yeah,
I mean, I get that white pepper that Bear was talking about, and I get a little bit more of that biscuity kind of note as well too. And what I find really nice? It's not overly woody.
No,
Yeah.
that's the other thing I'm impressed with this.
I will say this too. I'm interested to see as you guys continue this. This thing does not like to be put down, so I'll be interested to see if as you smoke through, whether you have to relight or just have to stay on it because it does not like to be put down.
That's kind of what I'm getting from this too. Yeah.
My
Yeah,
problem is
I am
I'm
getting a little
enjoying
wisp.
this,
Oh, I'm sorry,
so
Ben.
I'm worried about me smoking it too fast and making it too hot. But I will say, as I'm puffing on this, to me the draw is tightening up a little bit,
Mine
which
too.
is what I was hoping would happen.
Mine too.
So I was glad to see that. But what was you gonna say, Bear?
Oh, I'm getting like that whisper of that floral note right off the like the finish of the retro.
Yeah,
It's not like too pungent. It's not. I don't get rose. I don't get like anything strong like lilac or anything like that or jasmine. What Dennis was talking about earlier. I love jasmine, by the way, Dennis. Great pull.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorite scents ever. But it's more like more of a delicate flower like an astromere or like lily or something like that. That just has more of a just delicate scent.
You're like a botanist over here, Bear, spouting off all these freaking flowers.
Fun fact, I worked in a floral shop when I was in high school. How about that?
oh, there you go.
That explains a lot.
A true horticulturalist.
Yeah, I made some
Yeah.
beautiful fucking bouquets, man. Mother's Day, I was a champion.
You know
I
what,
think
Bear?
we
That's
pretty
interesting.
much
We
covered
share
that.
that.
I think we've covered the initial impressions of this. So we'll go ahead, finish the first third, and we'll be back to let you know what we thought. See you in a second. Hey everyone, we're back. We're at the end of the first third, so we'll go ahead and talk about what we got out of it. So Bear, how was your first third with the cigar?
Let's talk about a little bit about the construction real quick. So I already had one relight, and I just finished my second relight. So I've been puffing on this pretty consistently. So the fact that it's going out, has already gone out twice, is not good for construction. I've also had to do a touch up as well. but the draw has been tightening up as we've been talking about, but it's still an enjoyable draw, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting to. Um, so I'm pulling on this draw now, this to me the salt is really toned down quite a bit.
Yes.
I really it's hard to detect it at this point, to be honest.
Mm.
Um, and that kind of that biscuity note to me, I almost call it like a graham cracker at this point because it has it. Well, let me just back up. It has a sweet creaminess about it, but I'm almost picking up something almost like a cinnamon. So it
Yeah.
makes me think of like a graham cracker kind of a situation going on there. And that white pepper has I think it's because some of those other notes have died down a little bit, and I'm getting a little bit more of that white pepper. But they're really meshing well for me. And my draw has tightened up a little bit in a good way. It's not tight, it's where I like it to be. I'm getting a lot of good smoke production, and I'm not really having much issues with it going out at all. Um, so I mean, I've been trying to puff very slowly because I've been actually noticed that I've been puffing a little bit too much and you're going too fast. And I'm like kind of like letting it hang off the side of the chair here in my hand, and it's not going out. And I go to puff on it again, it's like no problem. Aaron, what about you?
Yeah. So as I had mentioned kind of in our conversations, I had said because I had smoked this before and it doesn't like to be put down. I'm still getting the same thing. So I've had to kind of do a relight. I'm just going to keep puffing on it just because I don't want to keep relighting it. The white pepper is still lingering there a little bit. The wood is ramped up. I'm getting kind of
Yeah.
woody hay. The white peppers died down a little bit, so I wouldn't say it's as complex as it's kind of going into kind of that middle third right now. It's an enjoyable cigar. My draw did tighten up a little bit. But yeah, not much has changed. That what I called that rose floral has kind of died down a little bit. That floral note that's kind of, I guess for me was kind of a little bit hard to identify. That's kind of subsided too. So it's enjoyable so far.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that up, that woodiness. I didn't get it in when our initial light, but as I got in the first third, I started picking up more of a mild cedar note too. It's about that. So, Dennis, what about you? What were you getting on the first third?
The wildest thing that hit me once I got to the end of that first third was the flavor of aniseed, very distinctly. And I was on the retrohale. It was that a lot of what you mentioned with graham cracker, but highlighted by this. I couldn't mistake it for anything else. It was aniseed for me all the way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Dennis. That's what I was about to say. There's a really nice aniseed at the finish. The retro hail is phenomenal, I will say on this. I've been enjoying the hell on the retro.
What about you?
All right, my turn. Everybody else pretty much nailed most of my flavors. The one flavor that I feel like I'm getting that nobody has mentioned is, and I think maybe it just kind of falls into the breadiness category, but for me, it specifically reminds me of like the crust of a pot pie, like that savory pie crust. It's like buttery. That's what the breadiness reminds me of. And then
That's interesting.
Oh, and the other note was that you guys said the white pepper's kind of fallen off. For me, the white pepper was barely present on the palate at the beginning, and the white pepper on the palate has ramped up a bit.
No, that's what I agree with that. That's what I got as well.
Oh, okay. I thought you said with Aaron that it fell off. Okay.
Oh yeah. For me, it was a slight bit of it there. I got more in the retro hill, but as it burned down to the first third, I got more white pepper. So yeah, I agree with that totally. Dude, what about you?
And as far as burn, my construction's been perfect. I've been smoking this faster than I normally do because it tightened up a little bit, but it's still like, to use McTavish's scale, I would say it's between 1 and 2 notches loose for me.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But like, burn has been straight as an arrow, man.
Dude, what about you?
Most of the same flavors that you folks have been getting. I'm still getting the biscuit note, but definitely the saltiness has subsided. It's given way to that forward type cigar. There's a little bit of sweetness I'm getting. The only other note I'll throw in is in the background, I'm getting this chestnut note.
Yeah.
Kind of like, yeah, I get this kind of dried chestnut note, which it's not a bad thing. It's actually, I think it plays well into this. Uh, Burn has been good. I think my drawer's spot on right now. I'm actually, it's just a notch bend below milkshake drawer, but there's enough resistance that's keeping me happy. The interesting thing is I wasn't as thrilled with the retrohale. I'm getting a lot of white pepper on the retrohale right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
I'm
much
getting
so.
more. So if you're and that's going to kind of give a little more body to the cigar when you retrohale it. I don't think this is by any means your grandfather's Connecticut cigar. I think it's a little bolder, closer in that medium strength range and definitely medium bodied. And the flavors I'd say they're not full flavor, but there's the flavors are there,
Yeah, I
Yep.
did totally forgot to mention that about the for me, I would say it's definitely medium bodied, medium strength, and medium plus on the flavor profile
That's
for
kind of
me.
how I would, yeah.
And I would say too, anybody, if they can, I think this is one of those cigars you absolutely need to retrohale in order to pick out
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
I think if you don't, I think you're going to miss some of the nuances. I think just a straight pull, you're not going to get the full flavor on this one. They're going to be too hard to pick out. They're all going to kind of come together a little bit too much.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. The retro hill adds so much to this cigar. You most of the time with me, a retro hill it does add quite a bit, but this one in particular, the retro hill just ramps this cigar up to the next level.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
even if you can't retro hill like it stings or whatever, just do like a little bit. You'll see. It's pretty spectacular.
I think this
So
would be a good one to. I mean, it's not going to be like Coop said. This is not your grandfather's Connecticut, but I think you could get away with retro without totally singeing your nostrils. So if you can do it, I would highly
yes,
recommend it. It's not
I
going to kill you.
agree. All
If
right,
I
I think
could,
But
we
yeah.
go
but
ahead.
this shouldn't be the first cigar you've ever retrohaled, probably.
Probably not. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty good. We covered the first third pretty well, so we'll go ahead and we'll finish the second third. We'll be back to let you know what we thought. See you in a second. Hey everyone, we're back and we're done with the second third. So we'll go ahead and give you our thoughts on that one. The Coop, how was the second third for you?
I'm probably the furthest behind still, but I'm past the midway point. I'm getting, like we were talking about the blend, I'm getting a lot of that Criollo tobacco. So I'm tasting that Criollo tobacco. There's a little bit of a minerality I'm getting from this right now. It's what I like is it's not overly minerally, which is good. But I'm definitely getting some of that. And it's actually contrasting the wood notes nicely. And there's some sort of a sweetness on both the tongue and the retrohale I'm getting. Maybe it's just a natural tobacco sweetness I'm getting, but when this hit the second third is performing quite well, and that it's very well balanced right now. This cigar, I'd say it hasn't really moved much strength and body. It's still I think the needle's probably in that medium. We were kind of talking about that in the last segment and on the break as well. And like I said, it's performing very very nicely right now. Um, Not like I said, the one change I'm getting is that minerality note right now that's coming in here.
Right. So
That saltiness
viewers,
is gone. Yeah.
right. So viewers that don't know what you mean, when you say you're getting that, you're tasting that Criollo tobacco, what do you say when you mean that?
I tend to associate Criollo tobacco that has a sweet minerality to it. That's kind of what I do. I may be wrong on it, but that's kind of what I
Yep.
get from.
Same with me. That's
Yep.
what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, what about you?
100% agree with Cooper. That sweet minerality of the Criollo wrapper. The body of the cigar pleasantly has gone up. So I wasn't getting that kind of medium range before that you guys were talking about. I've gotten that medium range now. And then to piggyback off what Dennis talked about, the anise kind of flavor, I kind of morphed that with that minerality of the Criollo. So it's really couldn't put my finger on it, but I think that's the closest thing I can get to is that anise flavor. And kind of lastly, I did have to kind of do a little bit of a relight, like touch up relight. So if I don't, like I said when we kicked the show off, This thing does not like to be put down for me, so maybe I'm smoking it incorrectly, but if I don't puff it pretty frequently, it goes out. So I just got to pay attention to it a little bit, but enjoying it.
Fair. How about your second third?
I'm not putting this down at all. And with the connection problems I'm having to my internet, all I can do is just sit here and I'm just enjoying my cigar as much as possible. But I'm struggling to keep this lit. I just had my 4-3 light,
There you go.
and the construction has improved. So in terms of that, the burn, excuse me, has improved. The flavor components have really kind of muddled in the second third. I wasn't overly impressed with the first third. Other than the retrohale, the retrohale is still nice. The finish has gone from a more medium to long to just medium now, so it is a little bit more stunted. Um, I am getting still some floral notes. I'm getting some paper notes. Um, and it's heating up just a little bit, so I'm trying not to puff too fast because I don't want it to get too acrid
Mhm.
here. But there's some nice qualities to it. I'm sounding like I'm trashing this thing. I'm really not. It's an enjoyable cigar. It's different to y'all's point from earlier. There is a uniqueness to it. I don't think it's more complex than a high Claire. I do disagree with you guys, a couple of you guys on that one. Um, um, I'm getting still a lot of breadiness. It's becoming more of like a toasted bread. Um, and um, and I do appreciate some of the sweet like anise flavors that are still coming through on it. The um the body is creeping up a little bit in the second third for me as well too. And then you know, again, just more toastiness. The saltiness is gone. There's a little bit of pepper, you know, a decent balance of flavors, I would say.
Yep, sounds
One
good.
one thing I want to add in. So the creaminess is more of a chalkiness I'm getting off this.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It
kind
goes
of what
back,
I'm getting. Yeah, and I think it's some of that minerality is kind of
The
blending in
dryness.
there.
yeah, it
Yeah,
goes back to that dryness we talked about at the beginning. I
yeah,
would agree that chalky,
yeah,
milky.
yeah.
Like maybe Cheerios, that kind of dry cereal, maybe.
Well, I like dry cereal too. So
Yep. It's one of those weird Cooperisms.
breakfast is a very tough meal for me to be
Um,
satisfied with.
Trip, what about you? What do you get in the second third?
I mean, just kind of echoing what the other guys said, the minerality to me has. I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. It's kind of softened. It's there, but it's become less of like that. What people always laugh at me that I describe as licking a rock. Like this isn't that
Hmm.
licking a rock minerality. This is like just that little bit of uh like the smell of sand or crushed rock or something like that. Like if you break a rock and you can smell it a little bit in the air. Um, it's the sweetness, like they were mentioning, has for me like appeared. Like there was very little sweetness in the first third. The second third is to me where like the sweetness is kind of built up a little bit, almost a brown sugary kind of sweetness, like the light brown sugar. Um, Yeah, and the white pepper is still a little bit there on the palate. Um, and I've found there's a little bit more of like a baking spice in the second third to me.
Yeah, agree with that. Dennis, what about you?
I I hit the wall. I think I smoked a little too hard. I hit the wall. Bear mentioned it kind of a little bit. That acrid quality is now it's kind of taken over a little bit. So I want to smoke it, but I'm desperately trying to not force it into a corner and ruin it. And I'm actually pretty far along. I don't know how far you guys are at, but I'm
About
Same
the
to
same.
me.
about the same. Okay. Yeah, so it's getting a little more acrid, but really not a whole lot of change other than that, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think that, that's fine. Going back to the bread qualities, it's a little bit fuller to Aaron's point. But yeah, I got to put it down for a little bit. I can't touch it, otherwise I'm gonna ruin it.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of what y'all are saying too. I, I get that breadiness, but with like a almost like a cinnamon note. So it's still to me registering in my brain as like a graham cracker note. That creamy sweetness to me turned into what Trip was saying. It's almost like a light brown sugar now. Like it don't really have that creaminess to it, but that sweetness is still there. And it's very
That's
pleasant.
Barry
And
said anise. I'm kind of getting more of that, I think.
see, I haven't got that yet, but that's not a flavor that's really registered in my
Right.
brain, on my palate. So for me, it needs for me to pick that up. It's got to be a little more stronger. The way you're talking, I don't think you're getting it like a strong way. It's like an accent note in the background. Maybe I might be wrong on that, but I wouldn't pick that up anyway. But Coot, you were talking about the chestnut for the last third.
Oh
The
yeah, I
last
forgot
we
about
were
Yeah.
talking about that.
Yep.
Soon as we got off the air for this, I started getting it. And
Yeah.
I'm still getting it
I'm
now.
still getting it too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very delightful because man, I
Yep.
love chestnuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
It's
awesome. The minerality, it's to me, it's the saltiness I got before, but now it's not it's like I can't define that as salt or like mineral salt, like we're talking about Himalayan salt with the salt with the minerals in it. To me, it's like in the wild world would say it's slaty. It's like a slate type
Mm,
of minerality to it.
that's a good way to put
And
it.
to me, it's not strong. It's another accent note. So that along with that minerality, the spices of the cinnamon and the white pepper with a braid note, to me, they're playing really well together. And I'll look at this like my burn is absolutely awesome. And I've had no touch ups, no relights, absolutely nothing.
got a little bit of
Yeah, yours
unevenness
is
on that.
burning funky. But
Yeah.
this is like our friend Jose Blanco. He does not like box presses because they burn weird. And
Yeah.
most of the time they do. They burn weird. But to be this one is not burning very weird at all. And I don't know if you could pick it up, but it has that thin mascara burn line too, which tells us this is a very well fermented wrapper leaf. So I appreciate that as well. Now the difference, like Bear was saying, I think it was Bear was saying that it went from a long finish to a medium finish. To me, it's the other way around. I had a medium finish, and now I'm getting a little bit longer of a finish now,
Same.
which is delightful. To me, the retrohale has stayed the same. To me, it's still medium all the way through, probably medium plus for B on flavor, but really delightful so far. I'm really enjoying this. Like I said, I'm trying to slow down puffing this, but even this whole time I've been talking, still getting tons and tons of volume of smoke. So which I appreciate. So anyway, that'll do it for the second third. So we'll go ahead and pause it here again for YouTube, and we'll be back to let you know what we thought, our final impressions of the last third, and give you our score. See you in a second. Hey everybody, we're back. We're at the final third now, ending the cigar. We're going to give you what we got on the final third, our impression of the cigar and our score. Bear, what did you get on the final third?
Well, the final third, interestingly enough, is the only third that I haven't had any constructions issues. The burn is kind of evened out for me. It's the only third I haven't had to have a relight in. I did touch it up just a little smidgen, but I'm not going to knock that one out. It was really frustrating to have that part of my having all these relights as part of my smoking experience, considering that's all I had to do tonight with my internet issues was just sit here and try to enjoy and enjoy the cigar, you know. The anise flavor has really, really dominated the palate on the final third. It's just kind of sitting there on my palate, sitting there in the retro, getting some really dried cereal notes is going to be kind of talked about. The acridness has stayed at bay, which is I really am impressed with. I will say it's just it's almost kind of just sitting there. It's sitting there and it's ready to go, but every puff it's staying with me. It's hanging in there. It's not getting acrid. The um, the retro hail is finally depleted a little bit. It's gotten a little bit more just more muddied. And the spiciness, the zing that I was getting in the first two thirds with that beautiful white pepper, that gorgeous retro has faded off. No crescendo of flavor for me. I will say though, the final third so far has been more enjoyable smoking experience compared to the first 2/3 in terms of just like construction and burn. But the flavors are definitely just kind of fallen off. For me overall, the retro is the star of this show for me. I really, really enjoyed the first 2/3. That white pepper was just absolutely gorgeous. I thought it really married well with the breadiness of the cigar. Got some interesting floral components along the way. Some of the stuff that I heard you guys talking about. Um, just very subtle, faint, but nuanced enough to build on some of the complexity. But it overall not a complex cigar for me at all. And everything. I do want to try these other cigars that we got. Because the relight experience is never good, and I think it can perform a lot better than it has for me tonight. But overall, this is a cigar that at this point, with this is my first experience, by the way, and then some of you guys have had multiple. This is my first experience with the cigar. Based on this experience, I can't recommend it. I'm coming. You giving it a score, Ben? We're doing that.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I've got to give it an 83. The performance overall just really drag it. Again, the star of the show is the retro. I mean, maybe get it up into the mid 80s. As far as that, if that was the only thing, and if all the construction held together, it would have picked up the score quite a bit. But it still probably wouldn't have gotten to the high 80s. It would have stayed in the mid 80s for me in this experience. Which is unfortunate. But I am going to smoke the rest of these. I'm not, first impressions sometimes, well, in life, first impressions can kill things. That's the great thing about cigars is I like to smoke things in, twos and threes, give them a healthy shot. Over the years I've picked up Coop's philosophy of, try it in a different vitola. That's always a good piece of advice. So, but based on this experience, yeah, it's an 83 for me.
That's fair. Fair enough. Trip, what about
Man,
you?
you caught me right as I finished a yawn.
No, I was trying to keep speaking until you got done.
All right, I appreciate it. All right, so for me, the final third, kind of similar to what Bear said, a lot of the flavors that were present throughout that chestnut that Coop called out so expertly, kind of dropped off. And for me, the final third was really a hint of sweetness, a lot of black pepper. I think what I was kind of thinking of as baking spice, like you guys said it enough that I think it was like star anise, and that was kind of the dominant flavor of the final third. For me, the bitterness started to come back a little bit, like just near the end. My burn was perfect the whole way until I hit the final third. And when I ashed it there, it went out, and then it went out again a few minutes later. But other than that, I thought the construction was really fantastic. I think this cigar is particularly sensitive to going out, as we've found. Overall, I think it was a pretty enjoyable cigar. It's really not in my wheelhouse, but this is, I like to be as objective as I can. I think this is a complex enough cigar for a lot of people to enjoy. If you love Connecticut's, this will be a love it or hate it kind of cigar, because it's kind of different from a lot of the other Connecticut's out there, depending on which side of the fence you're on, that old school or that new school Connecticut. This is like somewhere in the middle, and you may not love it. But I think with the first 2/3 for me were fantastic. And the final third is kind of where it started to, flavors started to peter out a little bit. My score is going to be an 85. It's a good cigar, not at all bad, not in my wheelhouse, but I think there are absolutely people out there who are going to enjoy this and want to smoke it every day.
Nice. Dennis, what about you? What do you think of it?
I got some thoughts. So I really liked the first half of the cigar, really the way it ramped up. I loved, as everyone mentioned, the retro hill was awesome. I think maybe I smoked it a little bit too fast, and so that acrid quality that I mentioned, in going from the second third into the final third, it just stuck with me. So it was not a good finish for me to the cigar at all. But again, I think it could be just me. So I like to try at least two or three as well. Just like Bear mentioned, it's always good to try maybe a different Vitola, give it another shot. I have a couple more left, so I'm going to go through those. Man, I think I'm not good with scoring. I don't really like scores. Anytime I score anything, people get upset. I feel like. So for me personally, I'd give it an 82. Cigar aficionado would probably give this a solid 89, 88. So that's where I'm sitting. But again, I don't think it's a knock on the cigar necessarily. It could just be me. I have to give it another shot.
Sounds good. Aaron, what about you? What did you think of the final third and the overall impressions?
Yep. So final third for me was probably my least enjoyable. It got to that muddled factor. But they from a flavor profile standpoint still had a little bit of that star anise we talked about. The woodiness for me was pretty prominent. The white pepper still lingered. Um, I had mentioned when we kicked off the show that this thing liked to be smoked, right? So I think if we weren't doing a review and I would smoke it as I did the other ones, it would smoke quickly, but I think it would burn better and I think it would be a more enjoyable experience. For me, I smoked it. I tried to smoke it on the slower side and I had multiple kind of touches, relights, just because, like I said, it doesn't like to be put down. I'm with some of the other comments that I think the two-thirds, first half of the cigar is very enjoyable. The retro was fantastic. There's complexity there. Picked up on kind of, like I said, that kind of rose note, something floral that I couldn't really put my head around. I do like more of a looser draw, so for me it's good. It's just got to kind of regulate the intake. It remained medium body, so the second half ramped up in body, a little bit in strength too, which I thought was a good thing because that first third for me was a little more on that mild plus. So I talked about before, I think if you are a Connecticut smoker and looking to kind of ramp up a little bit, so getting away from just the very mild Connecticut's, you want to maybe get something that's a little more body to it, but not just go crazy. I think this is a great kind of transition cigar for that. So overall, pretty enjoyable. I'm going to go with, from a rating standpoint, I'm going to go with the 86. I think that, again, if I've smoked multiple of these and I kind of had the same experience with them all. If I smoke it quick and I don't put it down, hence not the burn issues, it tends to smoke better and it's more enjoyable. If you smoke it too quick, like Dennis, definitely
Yeah.
could get that acrid mineral kind of components to it. But if you don't have to relight it and do what happened to Bear, it's kind of the opposite. So you're kind of in that sweet spot of the cigar. So I think it's definitely going to appeal to a lot, but there's going to be some that, especially if you don't retro, I think you're going to miss out a lot on this cigar. So if you don't retro, I would probably stay away from it. So if you know how to retro and you like to do it, you're going to pick up some great notes off this cigar.
Yep, sounds good. All right, Coop, what did you think?
Mostly, I'm agreeing with everyone's assessment. The last third was the one that really went downhill. The flavor profile simplified. It was a lot of wood notes. The minerality I thought was still there. The chalkiness, which I was enjoying, actually was gone. There was more in the way of pepper. My burn really went downhill in that last third too. Towards the end of the second third, it did. This cigar was scoring well up until the halfway point. I'm like, this is gonna score nicely. But it did take a nosedive in the second half. As far as that goes, where it was a lot less enjoyable towards the end. So, like everyone, this is my first time I'm smoking this. So I want to be fair with this. This maybe no one else had a burn problem. I tended to have a burn problem. I had a slight crack in the wrapper too, but so as far as the best third, the best part of that cigar was going out of the first third into the second third. I thought that was where this cigar was really peaking. but definitely no crescendo flavor in the final piece. It scored enough in the first half to salvage this score as an 86. So I'm at the 86, like what Aaron has as well. It scored well in the first half for me, this cigar. And I don't want to discount that, but we smoked the whole cigar here. So
Right. Before I give my final impressions and score and all that, quick question. Do you think this cigar would smoke better at a higher humidity level than normal? Like, for instance, I kept mine around 60, around 68.7, 60, almost 69. Do you think this would be one that maybe around a 70% humidity would make it smoke better?
I don't think so.
I think it might taste better, but go out more.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
what my
That
concern
would
would
be
be
my
with that.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might. Yeah, totally agree.
That's what I was curious about. So for me, the final third was also, I thought, the worst part. Basically, it kind of really simplified itself. Basically, what I got was I got that anise flavor y'all were talking about at the final third. Like, I don't remember I don't think we were on camera when I talked about this, but that's not a flavor that I really have in my flavor wheelhouse in my head, really. I just lately have been kind of experimenting eating with different types of licorice. That's thanks to Bear and Dennis's insane salted Norwegian freaking stuff. That
I'll bring some this year for you.
it's okay. Um, but so I kind of have it in my head, but it's got if it's a subtle anise flavor, I will not pick that up. But on the final third, I got it pretty prominent in there. So I basically I got cedar, white pepper, and then anise flavor on the final third. I got a very low hint of that sweetness, but it was almost faded completely away. And I would just get it every now and then. It did develop a slight bitterness, like a nondescript bitterness. Like, I can't say it's something tied to something food wise to kind of get my point across. It just had just a hint of that bitterness. And I will give it credit for this. When I did remove the bands, I did nick the wrapper. It was on me. And I was so worried about what would happen when it got to that. And as it burned, it did open up a little bit, but as it burned past it, it just gently closed right back up and kept going. I was pretty impressed with that. I did have a couple of relights on the final third. I never relit it or touched it up until the final third. Um, and in my head, and I'm probably the person on our team that smokes the most Connecticut's. After 35 plus something years of smoking cigars, I've just kind of gravitated more to medium body stuff and a lot of Connecticut's, kind of what I enjoy. Um, so in my head, I kind of try to rank it two other Connecticut's. And I would say this is a little bit like in the middle, the upper middle, probably. And kind of the analogy I made to me, like if you took an Ashton Classic and combined it with, say, like something a little bit more robust, like say the Knuckle Sandwich Connecticut, and combine them. That's kind of what to me, that's kind of what you get with this cigar. So I think it could be approachable for like whichever side of the Connecticut's you like, whether it's older style, which is really kind of dry and woody, or the new one, which has got more savory, more robust flavor profile. I think this will work for either one of those type of smokers. For me, going into the second third, which I thought that, to me, the second third was great. And matter of fact, the best part of it was where Hoop said that transition the first third to the second third was awesome. I loved it.
I agree.
The Also on the final third, my finish got a little bit shorter than it did on the other ones, which is no big deal. I do prefer a long finish. But it wasn't too short. Like, it wasn't a short finish. It was more medium, but a lot less than it was the second third. The second third for me, I got a pretty good long finish. Up to that point, I was in my head, I was thinking 90 to this cigar compared to what else I like. But when it got to that last third, it did kind of nosedive a little bit. So I'm going to give it an 88 overall, which I knew I'd probably be the highest one on this one out of all of us. Because this is a little bit more in my wheelhouse than I think it would be y'all's, except for maybe Aaron, because he's Mr. Highclere Castle every day. But I did enjoy the cigar. I do, and it to me, um, I would get a box of these, but I kind of want to try other Vitolas. Um, it's just kind of see how it changes on this one, because I think this one might be one of those cigars where, like, Crown Heads is renowned for this. There's always one Vitola in the line that stands way above the rest of them. And I'm almost thinking the way this one went in the Toro, that there's probably one of the other Vitolas is going to shine more than this Toro. So I'll be calling up to, Fine Ash and getting maybe a sampler of different sizes. Might probably end up buying a box of these, because to me this is good enough for me that I would want a box, but I want to try the Vitola before I commit to that. So overall, I kind of enjoyed this cigar. I know a lot of people had different issues with the relights and all that, so that's something. And I would say I've had several of these. I've only got they sent us all graciously a 5-pack to do this review on. I've got one left, and I've had others before that too. Um, so it's definitely one. If you're a Connecticut person, you should check these out. It is a unique Connecticut compared to what's on the market now. It's definitely a different style that's you can't really pigeonhole, to be honest. So if you're in the market, check these cigars out and see what you think, especially for Connecticut smoker. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. If not, you'll just think how different this one is. So, on that note, programming. What we got coming up next week, guys? And what do you got coming up next week?
Me?
Yeah.
Next week we start the PCA shows. So I know we're gonna have several members of the team participating in different one. All you guys are gonna be participating in them. But next week is the interview with Josh Haberski, and Trip and Dennis are gonna be co-hosting with me, because Aaron is gonna be in he's gonna be in Florida. So yep. So looking forward to that. We'll have Josh on and talk about the show.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Guys, what about Let's Get Buried? What are y'all gonna be doing this week?
This week we're going to be smoking the Racist Cubana C5,
Nice.
Man.
which is a big, strong guy. So we'll
It
see
is.
how that one pairs.
Yep, it is.
Sounds good. Bear, what guests will you be having on this week?
It's looking like I won't have a show this week, but we do have Brandon Ovesin of Apostate Cigars coming up here in a couple weeks. And so that'll be really exciting. Really excited to get his take, and that'll be the first time I've had him on. So that'll be really exciting. And then trying to line up a couple more guests before the end of pre-PCA show season. And then looking forward to getting some more guests after the trade show as well. So
Yep, Brendan's a great guest, by the way, and he's joined the Oveja Negra family now. And there's a good story how he kind of wound up in that, and it's a very different company. So he was a great guest. We had him on a few months ago. So I think I was like, Bear, I think this is a cool guest, because
yeah,
I know how Bear does an interview, and there's a good story with these guys for sure. So
Yeah, he has a very unique background. His story, how he got into cigars, is very unique. It's very interesting.
yeah,
Definitely tune into that, because I think you'll be very intrigued by his story and his background. And I've had a customer came in and gave me a few of those cigars, and
they're good.
I thought they were really good. So,
I thought they were too. Yeah, I couldn't smoke the night I had him on. I was sick, but I wanted to. That's a cigar I wanted to smoke with those guys on there. Yeah, they have the blends are all very unique. So yeah, there's different blends they have.
Yep, unique naming conventions and all that too. But I'm sure he'll explain all that on Bear's show.
Yep.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It'll be great.
Yeah, I agree. So please like, comment, subscribe. On that note, we'll see you next time.